Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering from ELD's Time Vault Games, playing live over Discord, and we've got some spicy decks here. Bug Food Chain versus 8 Crab, and the new Ruinous Crab showing up. I think that's its name. It's not Hedron Crab. It's only going to be able to target Matthew with the milling, whereas Hedron Crab can actually mill yourself out, which is most of the reason that Hedron Crab sees play. This 8 Crab going in a very different direction, actually trying to mill your opponent out, which is ice skating uphill when you're talking about playing against Eldrazi, which, fortunately, Food Chain does not have anymore. They used to run an Emrakul. At this point, Walking Ballista, by far the more popular choice, certainly has a lot more utility, and many situations where it's just so much stronger than a 15 casting cost card. Walking Ballista can clear all sorts of utility creatures even when you don't have infinite mana. And you can actually cast it when you're flooded out, where, if you're flooded out enough to cast an Emrakul, things are probably over way before that happens. We've got 3 cards going into the bin, and then a Glimpse of the Unthinkable. 10 more cards. Now, normally these interactions don't really matter very much. The only time that milling somebody ends up mattering is really when it actually kills them. Like, if you can mill somebody out, that's totally fine. Very similar to like burn. Like if you've got a burn spell and you throw it at your opponent's face, it's not actually doing anything unless it's going to lead to them dying. If your opponent's sitting there at 20, usually you want to bolt their creature instead of them, as anything could happen, and that change in the life total or the change in number of cards not usually relevant. And occasionally you're giving your opponent resources, as we see here, Euro coming back. Oh, and actually exiling a Mist Hollow Griffin, so doubling up on the utility. Not only getting a Euro, but also exiling the Mist Hollow Griffin. Now, Euro gets forced, but, he's going to be able to come back. Let's be honest, there's going to be more cards going into the graveyard. Even if Ben doesn't mill Matthew, it's just going to happen naturally as the game progresses. And is that Oboro? That might be. I think that's Oboro, the one that you can pick up and put back down. I guess you can get a bunch of extra crab triggers. There's a pair of crabs on the board. Brainstorm. Matthew's deck looking a little thin. You'd definitely like to just combo off. Trying to win with Euro could be a tough sell, depending on, really, like, the crabs are going to do 6 to 12 cards per turn together, so Euro may not be fast enough on his own, and the life gain's not going to keep you around. Ben actually going to throw a crab in front of Euro. Didn't realize his life was that low at this point. Matthew picking up his library, counting the cards. It's not usually a good sign. And Mission Briefing. That's going to Surveil 2 and allow Ben to play a instant from his graveyard. He's going to get another Glimpse. And Surveil put one in the graveyard, left one on top, so this is actually pretty dangerous for Matthew. He gets an untap. He should probably win now rather than later. There may not be a later. A Food Chain. No Food Chain, just swinging for 7. I guess he could do that post-combat. Probably would anyways. So sure, let's see if he's got a Food Chain. Paying 3, 4 mana for a Mist Hollow Griffin. Getting the 4th mana there. So Mist Hollow Griffin on board. 10 damage coming in next turn. What can Ben do to survive this? He ponders. Looking for the goods. And that library doesn't look like it has a lot of cards left. Difficult to tell from this angle. There's been a lot of milling. And oh, that's funny. What is that? Visions of Beyond? I don't know if Matthew has 20 cards in his graveyard. I guess he does. And now a Glimpse the Unthinkable. Is that going to be lethal? Oh, it totally is. 8 Crab gets one. Game number 1 in the books for Ben. Let's see if he can pick up a game 2 or 3 against the much more mainstream food chain build, which itself is not very mainstream. So this is a battle of some pretty crazy rogue decks. Let's see where this goes. All right, so game 2, Matthew on the play. So he got milled out, fetches, and let's see if he's got that Birds of Paradise. Ben with that beautiful playmat, if I do say so myself. I hand-painted that as he won one of our vintage events. We did a whole homage to the Power 9. And, oh, Archive Trap. Wow, so Matthew jamming a Carpet of Flowers. And we've got a Force of Will on the Archive Trap. And then a Force of Will to protect it. Pitching Glimpse the Unthinkable, which is surprising. I think they both mill the same amount of cards. I have to check on that. I feel like Archive Trap mills 10 cards. Just building up some fetch lands here. 3. 2 of them sacked. Able to keep this Carpet of Flowers from activating. Now he grabs a Underground Sea and a Tropical Island. Slightly surprised the Swamp isn't part of this, to try and keep down the effectiveness of Carpet of Flowers. I believe we saw a Swamp last game. I may be mixing my games up. Carpet of Flowers is going to get 2. Now with a Bayou. What's Matthew got here? Euro, Escape, getting Mist Hollow Griffin times 2. Is that Eternal? That's Eternal Scourge. I'm not sure what that other card was, but that looks like he got 2 Mist Hollow Griffins and an Eternal Scourge. That's really coming together for him. Obviously, a food chain would be a bit stronger, getting infinite mana and all of that on board. And let me look this one up. Right, so that's Fraying Sanity, 2 in a blue, and it's going to double the effectiveness of mill. So any cards that go into Matthew's graveyard are going to trigger an additional mill during the end step. That's pretty interesting, taking a turn off for that card. Doesn't really do anything to stop the food chain combo as you're exiling the creatures, not sacrificing them. And Euro sends we'll see what Ben can do. A couple of glimpses would be lethal. An Assassin's Trophy. And Veil of Summer to protect. 1 mana Cryptic Command. Ben considering his options. He's going to fetch in response. Grabbing a basic island. Still going to power up this Carpet of Flowers. And surveilling while he's tapped out. I guess he can hit Force of Will. Okay. Yeah. So that's fun. So he's going to surveil. He's already got a Force of Will in the yard. This is in response to the Veil of Summer. And he's going to be looking to push through the Assassin's Trophy. And looks like he's actually going hellbent to do this. So no cards in hand. It's going to be a few cards milling thanks to the Fraying Sanity. Anytime any card goes into his graveyard, that's going to create some milling during the end step. Food Chain. Euro swings, draws a card, and we will see the rest of those creatures hop in from exile, only requiring 3 mana to do so, starting out with the Eternal Scourge. You can just cycle that a bunch of times through. Relic of Progenitus on top of it. And presenting what is probably lethal at this point. A Glimpse. And it gets Force of Will. I think that Glimpse might have actually been lethal. I'm not sure if he had more than 20 cards left. It would have been 10 plus another 10 from the Fraying Sanity. So Matthew hangs on to get game number 2, and we're off to game 3, which you can't complain. I mean, how often do you get to see live 8-crab action? Ben gets to play this game. And Island Go, no first turn crab, surprisingly. There's 8 of them in the deck. You'd think that would be almost a prerequisite for a keepable hand. Got a Bird's Paradise and just cycling and dazing the birds. Matthew not messing around, force pitch the Mist Hollow Griffin, getting it set up in exile, but also keeping that bird around. Ben Island into a crab. And now a Euro. Consecutive excellent use of his mana. The turn 1 birds, turn 2 Euro. If Ben helps out, he could unearth. And he does. This Euro could easily be coming back this turn, giving Ben some options that he might not have had naturally. Certainly going to set a clock. This Visions of Beyond, just desperately wanting to be able to draw 3, but Euro does make it tough. Polluted Delta, Mills, and now Ponder Digs. A little bit of synergy with Hedron Crab, being able to mill yourself if you do have some garbage on top with Ponder, but I don't know this deck can actually afford that. It feels a little bit like Burn, in that you're kind of moving all in on a plan that only comes together when you deal the final blow, either a bolt to the face, or in this case, milling out your opponent's library completely. Flusterstorm Battle, stopping Assassin's Trophy. $20 cards, the cutoff for Visions of Beyond. For those keeping track at home. Baleful Strix. Yeah, an Assassin's Trophy on Euro doesn't feel very good at all with this deck. Hedron Crab. Like he's just going to be coming back. And you ramp him into it. Yeah, Euro's kind of got incredibly good synergy with the milling from 8 Crab, being able to exile those creatures you actually want in exile is no small thing. Oh, we got a customer just came in for the first time. Thrilled with our selection. Hopefully they will be back. Got Brainstorm for Matthew. Putting back 2 bad ones, which can be milled away. Facing down a pair of crabs. And Food Chain. I think that's going to be infinite mana. So a Force of Will. Looking to stop the enchantment. Ooh, Flusterstorm. So Brainstorm, Food Chain, Force of Will, and Flusterstorm. So no mana available for that last copy. Flusterstorm counters the Force. Food Chain's coming in. And Birds of Paradise. Does he not have a Mist Hologriffin? Oh, he's got the Mist Hologriffin here. Going to be able to make infinite mana, Baleful Strix to draw a card. And there's the Walking Ballista. So that will do it. So infinite damage closes that one out. Edges out 8 Crab before it can actually completely mill him. Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, those are some fun decks. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.